Welcome, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us this evening as we have a jam-packed agenda and lots of time for your questions. We're really, really happy that you're here. My name is Nicole DeWillier-Fenton. I work in University of Vermont's Professional and Continuing Ed Department, and you're going to learn so much about University of Vermont's End-of-Life Doula programs and our other programs that we have in end-of-life care this evening as well. So let's get going. Before we get going, I'm going to share just a couple logistics for you. This is a Q&A, so we have tons of time for questions tonight. So that Q&A box is going to be where you want to put those questions. And we do have a couple questions that came in via email that we'll share to kick us off. But the Q&A box is where you want to focus, and please do share those questions. We also have one of our colleagues, Justin, who can help answer a few questions in the chat in the Q&A, and we have our wonderful lead instructor of our programs with us tonight to answer so many of your amazing questions. We have Frances Pope with us. Frances, thank you so much for taking time out of your day and being with us as well. You can notice folks from maybe all parts of the country, it's still sunlight where Frances is. She's in New Mexico and I'm in Vermont where it's a dark day. We're starting to feel the effects of fall, but that's okay. But Frances, you can see on this slide, has just outstanding experience, and we're so fortunate to have Frances leading not just our End-of-Life Doula program, but also our companion animal End-of-Life Doula program. But Frances, you're not alone,
Yeah.
That's the thing that's so amazing about, if I held up a slide of probably any of our instructors in our program, it may be just as impressive. And I think that's one of the things that is just so unbelievably amazing about our program is the quality of the expertise in our instructors. Could you speak a little bit more about that tonight?
Oh, Nicole, first of all, thank you for having me, and it's a pleasure to be here with everyone this evening. And yes, our instructors are the heartbeat of this program. We are so fortunate here at UVM to have such a diverse group of instructors, all who have advanced degrees and/or professional trainings. They are actively working in the end-of-life doula field. They draw from a wide range of end-of-life specialties. We have those trained in thanatology, psychology, counseling, divinity, and many more. And our instructors, they work as a group to offer such a well-rounded and comprehensive view of all aspects of end-of-life care. And we also encourage our instructors, to continue learning and never stopping, not only professionally, but as individuals. And that's what really makes our program stand out.
Thank you, Frances. And I already see some of those awesome questions coming in. So excited to get to those. We'll get to those in just a second, I promise. So I just wanted to ground us in, we're of course so excited to answer questions about our core program, our End-of-Life Doula Professional Certificate program, but that's not all you can do. We also have our companion animal End-of-Life Doula Professional program. We have a 4-week program that is for alumni of our End-of-Life Doula program. And then we have a 6-week program that is kind of, as we deem, like for the general public, for folks who have not taken any End-of-Life Doula training. That 6-week companion animal is a perfect opportunity for you to learn. We are also so thankful, and we actually have Allison as one of our presenters kind of behind the scene. Allison, I won't make you turn your camera on, but she's here. She is our instructor for, oh, there she is. Allison, thank you so much for being with us tonight. We're so fortunate to have Allison on our team, and she is leading a brand new offering in Spanish for our End-of-Life Doula Professional Certificate. So thank you, gracias. Thank you so much, Allison. We're so thankful that you are here with us. So maybe, depending on if she feels comfortable, maybe she could answer a couple questions, but she's really here to kind of listen and be a part of this wonderful community. But we're so thankful that this program in Spanish is starting in January. So we can't wait to share that with you as well. And a little teaser that we have some new programming coming that you'll want to learn about. So stay tuned and make sure that you are on our inquiry forms on our website so you're getting our emails and find out what's new coming in the land of end-of-life care. Okay. One of the things that I think a lot about is this slide. as I was putting it together, there's a lot of competition. Let's absolutely, put it out there. There is a lot of competition now versus when we started our first End-of-Life Doula Professional Certificate program. But we're still unrivaled, unparalleled in the market because we were the first End-of-Life Doula program associated with a university and associated with a medical school. And not just any medical school, not that there is any medical school, they're wonderful, but we also have the 7th oldest medical school in the country in our Robert Larner College of Medicine. So what does that mean? That means that you get the expertise of the palliative care group, the educators, the practitioners that are associated with the College of Medicine and the University of Vermont Health Network that are also guest speakers, informing and laying the foundation for this incredible program here at UVM. The other thing that's really outstanding is I have another bullet kind of at the bottom is our program is also affiliated with the Osher Center for Integrative Health at University of Vermont. So what does that mean? We joined forces with the College of Nursing. So you have a combination of College of Medicine and the College of Nursing that has organized the Osher Center for Integrative Health. And that brings additional research and additional perspective on end-of-life care from an integrative health perspective that, again, other programs don't have. The other thing that I've had listed here is just access. You have access to continued education with our doula community. You have access to each other in our alumni networks. You have access to Frances and the instructors in our book club that she does monthly and our meetings and Zoom meetups that she does. There's always new opportunity to learn. Frances is so wonderful in creating webinars and workshops and things for you to continue to learn. And then as part of the Osher Center for Integrative Health, you have access to all of the other things on the right side of the slide there. You have access to the Integrative Pain Management Conference. You have access to our Osher Collaborative, which includes 11 academic centers around, most of them, I think 10 are in the United States. There's one international collaborative as well. Advanced research, advanced education, advanced experts in speaking. The Laura Mann Integrative Healthcare Lecture Series brings unbelievable doctors and researchers in the field of integrative medicine. And this is what you have access to with our program, in addition to our amazing instructors, as Frances mentioned. So Frances, is there anything else? I know I'm gushing because it's amazing. And when you start putting together a slide, you start to go, oh my goodness, this is really unbelievable. Is there anything else you wanted to add?
Yes, I do. And when people complete the program, we kind of alluded to this, but they have the private alumni Facebook group where we can all stay connected and network. We have the monthly Zoom book club with the focus on books about end-of-life experiences, both fiction and nonfiction. We now have just launched a monthly book club for our end-of-life companion animal program. And we also offer 2 support groups for support and networking, both for end-of-life and companion animals, and along with a quarterly newsletter, because we want to celebrate you all and your accomplishments and continue to get the word out. And so as you can see here at UVM, our goal is truly focused on continuing your knowledge expansion of understanding end of life. It's an ever-changing field. New research is being revealed, and we want to make sure that this is not just a one and done where you take the program and then that's it. We want to ensure that we are keeping our alumni engaged and connected. And we get that information from you all. We take what our students say and then take it back each time after every semester or course at a time ends. And we see all the comments and we're like, what are ways that we can continually improve? Because like you said, Nicole, it's hard to, we're unrivaled. And so we want to make sure that we're always in the lead.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. Okay. We'll stop talking now and we'll get to your questions. So I'm excited. I see lots coming in, and thank you. Justin's already jumping in there and answering just some of those logistic questions. But I'm going to start with, because we had 2 wonderful prospective students ask a question. They sent an email. So I thought I'd start there. We'll get the ball rolling, and maybe this might answer a question that you might have sitting at home. So one of the questions is, could you please, Frances, could you please address the realistic, right? How much time is it really going to take me? How much time is needed to complete the assignments? There's lots of estimates out there from 8 to 10, there's usually ranges. What do you think? Is there more realistic time to complete
Yes.
assignments?
That is such a wonderful question. And being an alumni of the program, we put a general time out there, but I think if you truly want to get the full benefit of it, I would schedule myself 15 to 20 hours because there is so much self-reflection, so much growth, incredible content that you don't want to miss anything. But one could do it in 8 hours a week. But it's all about what are you willing to commit to? How much education and knowledge and self-reflection and self-growth do you want for yourself? Great
That's
question.
really great. Yeah, I bet lots of people are thinking about how long is this going to take me? So another question that we had from Cynthia, who emailed it in just a few hours ago, she said, as a retired hospice medical social worker, and maybe there's a few folks out there this evening as well, I would like more information on how this certificate could assist me in continuing this work as a volunteer, or I bet this one's coming too from everybody, creating a business as an end-of-life doula.
Okay, so 2 questions there. And Cynthia, congratulations on years as a hospice social worker. That's difficult. Anytime, social work in itself is difficult. So thank you. Being a doula is very complementary to those in hospice. And what you'll learn, as you know, with continuing education, being a social worker, being a counselor, we have to always continue our knowledge base. And that's where I believe this program could come in and supplement what you already know, but also look at it instead from a clinical angle, look at it from the doula voice and responding without always having to have the answers, right? Because in social work, we're trained to be able to listen to people's thought processes, how they're going. But this instead is going to teach you how to truly companion alongside someone. And I think it would be, of course, I'm biased about this, but I think it's an incredible way to continue growing one's skills, no matter how old one is or how long someone has been in the field. We can all enjoy refreshers and new knowledge. So great question, Cynthia. And if you have questions for me, Cynthia, offline, please feel free to send me an email and I will make sure I get to you. And then the questions
Thank
about
you.
how to start a business.
Oh, yes,
That is a
right.
fabulous question. We do make sure we tend to that in the end because not everybody who comes to this, the doula certificate training program wants to be a practicing doula. But there are many resources available if you do choose to do a business angle. We are very fortunate to have 2 amazing instructors who actually wrote a book with Gabby Jimenez. And they wrote the doula toolkit. I wish I had my book now. I'm such a huge advocate for it because there are many books out there as to how to start businesses, but this is specific to the doula role, including contracts, what to do when, and it is a great book to add to your library. And so for those of you who are interested in starting your business, I would encourage you to go ahead and purchase this book. And then as you sign up to take the course, you will see how a lot of your questions will be answered and it will allay a lot of anxiety.
That's great. Thank you. Thank you. And there's so many books that our instructors and our alumni have written. I think the list of them just keeps getting deeper and deeper, which is super great. I'm going to jump to a question from Allison. Allison signed up for the program that starts Monday. Yay, we can't wait to see you on Monday. There are still a few seats available for Monday's class. So any folks with us tonight, if you want to jump in, that is the time to do it because here comes Monday. But Allison asked what kinds of organizations are in need of end-of-life doulas. And I'm going to zip over, I have a little bit of some slides in here. So I wanted to jump over to this slide because we do get this question a lot too. We get this question of what can I do with it? Or really, what can I do? Do I start a business? What kind of roles could I take on? But where could I look for roles too, I think is another really interesting piece of that. So this is a sampling, but what would you say to Allison's questions, Frances, about what kinds of organizations are in need of end-of-life doulas?
Oh, what kind of organizations? I would say any human service field, whether social workers, hospitals, nursing homes, private care aides, anything related to anyone. It can even be psychiatric centers because this is such an approach of learning how to be with someone else without judgment. This is truly a training opportunity that, yes, meets all medical trainers, but also those of us who just want to show up and companion alongside our fellow humans. Of course, even with our companion animal certificate program, that is specifically wonderful for vets, anyone vet techs, anyone who's interested in supporting loved ones who have animals that are passing. There's, to me, the training programs should be universal. I think they should be, yeah. So I'm a little biased about that, but it's because the skills are so transferable.
Yeah, that's a great, and thank you for that great question and that great answer. This is a great question that I don't know that I've seen before. Susan asks, what's the best venue for meeting clients? Telephone, Zoom, how does in-person work?
I have found, and also listening to the instructors, it's about meeting the person where they are. Ideally, since this is a human connection, we could be in person, but sometimes some situations just don't allow for it. And it's important as doulas to be open to whatever the situation brings itself. Being able to be flexible and just roll with what comes up. Yeah.
I think about some of the amazing stories that our students and alumni shared during COVID and how they were so innovative and creative in making those connections with people through the computer. And we couldn't
That's
be
it.
so many times at the bedside and with folks when they needed it. Another question, Meg has a couple good questions, so we'll tackle one of them here. Meg says, to my knowledge, the role of end-of-life doula is not medical, at least not primarily, which is true. I'm curious about the relationship between end-of-life doula and hospice or medical care when an individual or family may be working with both. What does an effective relationship between the two look like, and how does this work? Great question.
Great question. Just as with any interdisciplinary team, right, especially if we're looking through the lens of integrated healthcare, we have different roles on a team to best support the dying person. And so the doula role is there to complement and oftentimes can be a voice and how do I say it? Best support not just the patient, but also the family, right? Because we are completely non-medical. We will not offer any medical advice, and we always defer back to hospice. But we also know the demands of insurance companies. And unfortunately, insurance companies only allow our hospices to offer so many services, right? And so if we can come in as doulas and support our hospice teams and go in when they may not have a volunteer who can show, or they don't have a nurse to go by, or just somebody to be with, even the loved ones who are really struggling with the loss of their loved one, we can go in and be that additional support. It truly is a wonderful complementary role. And if we always look at it through the lens of an interdisciplinary team, it makes complete sense for one another.
Great. I'm going to jump for just a minute because I know I see we've got 37 questions still, and we've only got about 10, 15 minutes, and we can go a few minutes over. So I just want to make sure that folks feel heard this evening. But I'm going to jump to the bottom of the list and I'll kind of weave around. This is a question that we get quite a bit that is about technology. And Nancy, you're so brave to share with us. Nancy says, I'm very computer illiterate. You're not alone. You will be in good company. There's lots of folks that need a little extra help. How would this impact taking the course?
I'm gonna celebrate one of our most recent graduates of the program. She is 82 or 83 years old, has not been on a computer like she has been, and she navigated it beautifully. We have such amazing support at UVM, so if you find any difficulties with the programs, feel free. You always have access to my cell phone number. You can call me. We'll call in to the UVM helpline, and we'll make sure that you're able to navigate and get everything done well. The program that we use is very user-friendly. So we have found that anytime there's even a perceived barrier, we get resolution. We don't want to increase any form of anxiety related to technology.
Great. Awesome. Thank you for asking that too, because I bet there's someone else here thinking the same thing. So we always appreciate someone who can come forward and ask a question like that. Diane asks, I'm unable to do the upcoming session, but I'm wondering if you have any recommended reading activities to get started on prior to being able to join a future session. One thing that I will share, and maybe Justin, I don't know if you could go grab this. We have an amazing article on our website that has a recount and a kind of a featuring of the various books that our instructors
Yes.
and alumni have written.
Yes.
So
Yes.
that would be an amazing place to start. But off the top of your head, Frances, I know you mentioned the toolkit, but is there anything else that you would recommend, Diane, and anyone else listening might want to grab?
Yes, I would definitely recommend, let's see. Final Gifts is always wonderful. Being Mortal is a great one. I'm trying to think specifically for us. Um, Cultivating the Doula Heart. There are so many amazing ones. I would encourage you to go to the website, and we actually have the syllabus there, which can tell you which books we recommend specifically for this course. But if you're looking for end-of-life books, if he is able to get that for us, that is amazing. It's truly
Yeah.
like contingent on what specifically you're looking for. But preparing for the course, I would go ahead and encourage getting the book Final Gifts. It's amazing.
Great. Awesome. Thank you. And I know you're looking, Justin, so appreciate you behind the scenes doing that. Um, The Art of Dying Well is Michael
That's
just popped that in as well. So
yes, that's a great one.
yes, thank you. Thank you. This is the doula heart right here, is jumping in and helping each other. So we
That's
appreciate that.
exactly right.
So I'm going to jump back up to us because I know that some folks put their questions in the beginning as well. Let's talk about the certificate versus a certification, a binding, federally recognized certification. Stephanie had asked, is the certificate good in any state or only in Vermont? And so what would be your answer to that? Because I know there's some nuances there to that question.
Yes, that is a great question. And so right now, at present, there is no state or federal licensure or certification for end-of-life doulas. There are many training programs that say they will make you a certified doula. But again, since we do not have Medicare or Medicaid reimbursement, it is truly open to interpretation. But what we're certifying is we are certifying that you have attended the program, you have met all the rigorous requirements, that the certificate is not even guaranteed. Our students do work very hard, and so that's why they have a reputation for graduating the best in the field. And so this is kind of like our stamp of approval to you, saying, yes, you have met these standards for providing end-of-life doula care. And of course, you have the back, like Nicole was talking about in the beginning, the support of the medical college. And so there's a lot of weight carried with that. But again, I encourage everyone to know there is a difference between certification and a certificate. This is a certificate of completion that you have successfully completed the program requirements for the 8 weeks of the end of life or the companion animal program. Great
Great.
question.
Yeah, thank you, Frances. A question here from Anne. I think this was another interesting one as well. They're all interesting, so I shouldn't just say this one is. Do you have to have a degree or experience in the clinical sciences to participate in the training? Can you please speak to some of the experiences, professional or otherwise, that past participants have brought to the program? Thank you. Thank you, Anne.
Yes. Yes, great question. No, there is no prerequisites for taking the course. Like I just mentioned, we had an older woman decide to take the course for her own personal journey and enhancement. We have nurses, we have CNAs, social workers, counselors, family members, loved ones, people who have never even read anything related to medical. It truly is designed to train the doula heart. Yeah.
And what a great question also following that from Michael. Michael asked, what opportunity exists for collaborative learning projects with other students? And what impact might there be if the students on the West Coast? And we've had students from all over the world. So how do you handle that, Frances?
I love that. Yes, we are developing local alumni in-person get-togethers and actively, of course, creating new courses. But my goal is to be able to at least hit New England to the northeast, the southeast, of course, Cali and the northwest, to be able to promote those types of communities. And then, of course, once we all meet together, having that opportunity to branch out, that you all can create those in your local community, because we need one another. That's why we have the once monthly support groups available so people can connect. And like you just said, Nicole, like I'm out here in New Mexico and you guys are on the East Coast, but it's never being far apart from one another. And it's so vital to have because this is such a human connected role.
Awesome. Great. Thank you. And thank you for that question. We had a question from an anonymous attendee, which is great too. No need to put a name in if you don't feel comfortable. How manageable would this program be for someone who works full time?
Very. I work 3 jobs. And when I took the course, I was working 3 jobs. Yeah, and it's,
Oh,
again, it's how much do you want to get out of the program? Some people, and myself as a working professional, I would come home and do it, in the evenings and also first thing in the morning. I found that doing the course kinda set my day and set me in such a great place to be. So
mm.
very easy, yeah.
Great, thank you. I've had a couple questions come in, which is very common. We always get this question as well. How do I make a living doing this? Can I make a living doing this? Monique asked, do your graduates earn income from their practice? I recently attended the ANELDA webinar where they recommended doing this work as a volunteer. What are thoughts on those questions?
Yes. And again, it depends on where I would say where you are. Yes, we always encourage everyone start as a volunteer just for your own protection. Unless you have great business savvy, we say go for it. But yes, always it's wonderful to start as a volunteer with your local hospice. I will say our instructors have thriving businesses and they have been able to be successful. And so I truly believe, it's all again individualized, but we need more people in the community practicing so we can have this grassroots approach to elevate the consciousness of understanding that we're all going to die and we all can die well, right? With the
Yeah.
appropriate resources. And so when that time comes, there's nothing holding anyone back.
Great. Thank you. And thank you for asking that question because it's one we get quite a bit. I've seen this thread a little bit in some of our questions. Can you really clarify, Frances, the difference between hospice and an end-of-life doula?
It all comes down to what's medical and what isn't. Hospice is there, of course, to tend to the medical and also the psychosocial needs of the person who is dying. And a doula is completely non-medical. We're focusing on the emotional, the spiritual. That's why there's such a beautiful complement. Again, I'm coming back to everything being complementary connection between the two. Never any
And what a
competition, never competition,
no
only yes,
compliment.
yes.
Compliment. This is a great question from Stephen. We'll keep going on that thread for a moment. Stephen says, hi there, I'm so grateful you're offering this. We're grateful you're here, Stephen. I'm a retired hospice and palliative physician. Been missing the connection with both patients and providers. Is there a place for me in all of this? I have no ego involved in this work, no need to prescribe, admit, lead teams, etc. I just want to use
Mhm.
my knowledge and experience. Thank you,
Oh,
Stephen.
yes, Stephen. I think you would very much enjoy the course. And of course, being a palliative physician, I wouldn't expect there to be any ego involved. And I would be more than willing to talk with you offline and see if you want to talk about collaborations or taking the course. However, I can just best assist you.
That sounds great. Thank you for asking that, Stephen. And a question here from, it looks like Zana. Let's switch over to companion animal for a minute. And Allison, I do have a question in the Q&A that's geared towards you too. So I'm queuing you up for here. Who is hiring a companion animal end-of-life doula? Is it euthanasia vets, other vets, pet parents? I asked because I've been interested, could have used one when my dog recently died, but I don't see any of our vets suggest one. I know of an animal chaplain, but walk me through what the companion animal doula does.
Oh my goodness. As a companion animal doula, you walk alongside, of course, the person who is losing their most sacred companion, the one who has been there with them through all the life's hurdles, ups and downs. And you are there to kind of be the voice as well for the animal. So you can educate that pet parent to know what to expect when that baby's in distress. Because as we know, animals have incredible pain tolerances. And we have a wonderful set of tools and instruments that you can use to help educate the human make the right decision for the animal. Yeah. And what to do. This is where, again, y'all, we get back to the importance of connecting in your community. People don't know that doulas
Mm,
exist, right? They often attribute it to like birth doulas, but we have to be the boots on the ground talking about what we can do as end of life doulas and companion animal doulas. And what's so unique about our program is we have veterinarians, veterinary techs, and those who are actually practicing as companion animals, companion animal doulas with a thriving business. So it's beautiful to hear their wisdom. And again, they're always updating our course content and making sure, that everything is with the most up-to-date research. Great
Great.
question.
Awesome. Yeah, thank you so much for that question. Allison, this one's for you, if you feel comfortable. Yay, there she is. You may see this question as well for Allison. Hello, Allison, with your role in UVM's choice to expand their doula
Hi.
curriculum on the team with the Spanish instruction, will Spanish resources of the program be available to us students who are fluent in Spanish? Chris says, I'm bilingual and being approached by many Spanish-speaking families.
Hi, Chris. I did try to answer your question on the chat. Definitely, we are looking for resources in Spanish. Obviously, if you feel more comfortable in Spanish, it would be best to find that information that will make more sense to you. Like, for example, the book that we are recommending is the book Ser Mortal, Being Human by Atul Gawande. It's an excellent book. One of the things I love the most about the book is really an invitation to look at death and dying from a different perspective, but also, the information is in Spanish, and it's a pretty good one. So we are definitely in the process of increasing our resources in Spanish. Okay, and reach out if you have any questions. I'll be happy to talk to you.
Thank you, Allison. Thank you, Chris, for that great question. Allison, we're so thankful that you jumped in at the last minute tonight, so thank you. We've had some questions kind of peppering in and out about live sessions. Is the program live? Are there live sessions? Can you work at your pace? And the answer is yes to all of it.
Yeah.
So, Frances, how do you describe the learning opportunity actually in the course for students?
Yes. So even though it is 100% online and an asynchronous program, we have a lot, of course, of discussion boards where people can come together and share freely. But we also recognize that with this program, being the human connection, we offer 3 live Zoom sessions. They are optional, they are not required, but it's an opportunity to come together with other people from your cohort. And we have different topics that we speak about with the 3 different ones. And we're always, again, taking more suggestions if, we're currently entertaining if we want to start doing weekly Zoom sessions. Again, we want to ensure that you not only are just getting a quality education, but an incredible experience with your peers, the chance to do some self-discovery, self-insights and awareness. And so we're always taking more feedback. So I look forward to y'all actually taking the course so then I can hear from your feedback and continue to make it better.
Awesome. I know we're a few minutes over. I'll try to get through a few more questions as well. And if we did not get to your question tonight, I apologize. We would try to go through them as quick as possible, but send us an email at learn@uvm.edu. You can also access the chat. Those are our team members on the chat on our website. They're usually there from 8:30 to 5, Monday through Friday, East Standard Time. But those folks would be happy to answer questions if we didn't get to it tonight, or email us at learn@uvm.edu if we didn't get to your question. Here's a great question though from Chris. Do you think having a Buddhist background would lend itself well to death and dying as a doula? And I see Allison shaking her head as well.
Yes, I do.
Yeah.
Yes.
Do you want to answer this, Allison? I know that you've had some additional training as well.
Definitely. Absolutely. I have to say, one of the things that I love the most about this program, this course, is the opportunity for you as an individual to go deeper into your own relationship with death and dying. And, having a Buddhist background really it kind of gives you an advantage, because it's really all about being present, holding space, being where you're at, being where the other person is at. And it's a practice, right? So it's not, simply reading a book and getting all of it. It's really about implementing what you learn. And there's nothing better than implementing what you learn by working it on yourself, like practicing on yourself so you can be better able to be there for someone else. So absolutely, you bring an advantage for sure.
Awesome.
Thank
you,
you for that.
Allison. Awesome question and a wonderful answer. Thank you so much. All right, I'm going to do 2 more questions and then we'll wrap it up, everybody. Which ones am I going to pick? All right, I'm going to go for this one. Another anonymous attendee putting in a question, because this I think is a really good one as well. Oops, it just jumped out. There we go. So how does the program address how to deal with conflict between families, medical professionals, and clients? I know you get this one a lot as well. As a doula in the middle bridge character, I imagine that conflict and differences of opinion will arise.
Definitely. And so we offer specific skills interpersonally, so that way you can navigate those situations while also upholding respect for the family unit, the family system, as well as knowing boundaries and how to approach those situations. That is a very important topic that we cover. Great question.
Awesome. I do see, some different questions popping in about pet health insurance cover it or health insurance at all. And I think the answer is unfortunately not at this point, but is there anything else you wanted to add there?
At this point, again, until we can get the grassroots going and our community members understanding the importance of end of life care and utilizing a doula, right? We need to be able to lobby. And so the more people who understand, even if people don't choose to become doulas, but they take the course to understand the importance of this, then we can advocate more, right, to our legislatures, to our House of Representatives, to our lobbyists, and really push for Medicare reimbursement and Medicaid. We need a seat at the table. Before the chaplains are in the hospitals, birth doulas now are, in the hospitals and getting reimbursement. It's time for end-of-life doulas and companion animal doulas to have a seat at the table. But we have to be the voice.
Awesome. Great. We're going to end there. We're over time. We thank you so much. I did just end on a
Yes.
quick slide. We have a few seats left. But now's the time. If you want to join us on Monday, if you want to join Frances and the rest of this amazing instruction crew, please do join us. We have just a handful, I think under 10 seats available for starting on Monday. You can also join to register for the session coming up in January. And there is our new Spanish doula program that will start in January with Allison, and companion animal. We do have an offering that is starting for our alumni on Monday, and then the next general public one will be kicking off in January. Thank you, everyone. We appreciate your time, your wonderful questions, your wonderful doula hearts that have joined us this evening. Thank you, Frances and Allison and Justin and Eric behind the scenes for all the technical help. We wish you well, and we look forward to seeing you in our End-of-Life Doula Professional Certificate starting on Monday. Have a great night, everybody.
Thank you. Good night.
Take care.